You can enable component add-ons for most components found in the editor. When enabled, add-ons allow components to provide you with functionality beyond what you would normally be capable of. This could, for example, entail making a component that can execute an action when something is dropped into it, or when it's swiped in a specific direction, being up, down, left or right. As an example, I made this row into a droppable area. I've also made the astronaut draggable, which is an exclusive add-on for floated components. But this way, we can execute an action when the astronaut is dragged into the space image area. I've also made the row swipeable, so we can choose between different images of space, like a carousel. The setup is quite simple. The width of this row called slider simply takes up 300% of the parent column, which enables us to swipe it left and right. In terms of the add-ons, those are very easy to set up. You simply go to a component, in this case the floating spaceman, right-click the component and go into add-ons. As you'll see here, the floating container has a draggable option. When you enable an add-on, you'll also be able to go in and adjust some settings depending on what your needs are. For example, you could set a dragging handle, or you could set constraints for the specific component. You can also define in which axis you want the floating container to be dragged. In terms of executing actions with add-ons, we simply made this row into a droppable, swipeable area. Going into actions, you'll see that when you enable add-ons, you get additional options. Now you can define what happens when a draggable component enters, when it exits, and when it's dropped. You also have the option to define what should happen when you swipe something left, right, swiped up, or swipe down. For droppable settings, you of course also have some extra options. For example, you can accept which components are eligible to be dropped in this component.